Hey guys, welcome to the 64th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at copying memory from one location to another. And the function that we use to do that is called memcpy, memcpy. And this function is located in the string header file, so just go ahead and make sure that you have that included whenever you want to copy memory from one place to another. So the first thing that I'm going to do right here is just create an integer array, and I'll just call it nums, and I'll just set it equal to a few numbers here. I'll say 1, 6, 3, 8. Alright, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and allocate some memory so that I can copy this array to that location. So we need to make just enough memory, or we need to allocate just enough memory to hold 4 integers. So I'm going to say int pointer new nums equals malloc in order to allocate some memory. And like I said, we want to allocate just enough memory for 4 integers. So I'm going to say size of int, and then we need enough memory for 4 integers, so I'll just go ahead and multiply that number by 4. Alright, and then the next thing I want to do is go ahead and copy the contents of this nums array to this new location right here. And like I said, in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and use the function called memcpy. So I'm just going to say memcpy. And the first parameter that this function takes is going to be the destination, so the place that I want to copy the memory to. So we want to copy this array to this location. So we're going to say new nums is our destination, and then the next parameter is the source. So where are we getting this memory from, or where are we copying it from? And we're going to be copying the memory from this nums array, so I'm just going to say nums. And then the final parameter is the amount of memory that we want to copy over. And we want to copy over all 4 numbers from this array. So we want to copy over exactly this amount of bytes. Alright, so after we copy all this memory over, I'm just going to go ahead and print out the contents of new nums onto the screen. So I actually have to loop through this. And we're just going to go ahead and print out new nums. So I'm going to say printf, and we're printing out in integers, so modulus I, and we'll put each one on a different line. So new nums at the index of I. Alright, so when we run this, we should just go ahead and get 1, 6, 3, 8 onto the screen. Yep, perfect. So now let me just go ahead and show you what this looks like in Paint, just so you get a little bit better understanding of what's going on. Alright, so first thing that we did is we went ahead and we created this integer array called nums. And since it's an array right here, it's actually a local variable, so it's created on the stack. And this is what it looks like on the stack right here. So we just say 1, 6, 3, 8. Alright? And the next thing that we did is we allocated some memory called new nums, and we just allocated the correct amount of memory for 4 integers, so that would be 16 bytes. So then what we did is we came down here and we copied the memory from this nums array over to this new nums location, wherever it is on the heap. And so we just go ahead and copy over the 1, so the 1 goes here, and then we copied over the 6, so the 6 would go here. We copied over the 3, and finally it copied over the 8. And obviously all these blank cells right here are simply zeros. So once again, we just go ahead and we create an array on the stack. We copy all of that memory to the newly allocated memory on the heap, and then obviously we just went ahead and printed it out. And actually I forgot, but every time that you allocate memory on the heap, you should actually free it before your program exits. After your program exits, it actually will free all the memory on the heap, but it's just good practice to free it explicitly. So I'm just going to say free right here, and we want to free the memory that we allocated, so new nums. And you're probably wondering why we don't have to deallocate this memory right here. Well, actually, when we go out of scope, it'll deallocate everything on the stack automatically. So you don't really have to worry about local variables, but you do have to worry about variables that you create on the heap. Alright? So now let's just go ahead and run through one more example with copying memory over. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just go ahead and create a string called myString, and I'm going to treat it like a character array, and I'll explain it a little bit more later on. Alright, and I'm just going to set it equal to Adam likes dogs. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create another string called name, and I'll just go ahead and set that equal to Rick. Alright, so basically what I want to do is copy this string right here called name over to the beginning of this string. So it'll overwrite Adam with Rick. So after we run the program, we'll end up with Rick likes dogs instead of Adam likes dogs. So basically what we need to do is just copy this string to the beginning of this string, overwriting Adam. So we're just going to say memcpy, and then remember that the first parameter is the destination, and our destination is the beginning of this string right here. So we could either write it like myString, since defaultly the pointer just points to the first element inside of the array, or if you wanted to, we could say at the index of 0 in the array, and then we'd get the address of that. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, but this way would obviously be faster. Alright, and then the second parameter is just going to be the source, and in our case the source is going to be name. So I'm just going to say name, and then the final parameter is the amount of bytes that we want to copy over from the source to the destination, and we want to copy over 4 characters. So we're going to say size of car times 4. Alright, so that we will only copy over 4 characters from the source to the destination. If we copied over all 5 characters in this string, it would copy over the null terminating string, and when we went to access this string called myString, it would think that there was only Adam there, when in reality there's the rest of this string. So we only want to copy over the first 4 characters of this string called name. And after we do this, we're just going to go ahead and print out onto the screen myString. So I'll say modulus s for string, end the line, and we're going to go ahead and print out myString. So when we run this, we should just get Rick likes dogs. And perfect, we get Rick likes dogs. So one more thing about these strings right here. Like I said, I'm not sure if you actually remember from a previous tutorial, but anytime that you want to edit a string, you need to create it as though it's a character array. And the reason you have to do this is whenever you create an array like this, it actually stores it on the stack. And whenever you create a string like this, it stores the string in this place in memory called the read-only data segment. And the read-only data segment is obviously read-only, so you cannot write to it. And like I said, we want to be able to edit this string so we can change Adam to Rick. Well, if it's in the read-only data segment, we obviously can't write to it, so we wouldn't be able to change this Adam to Rick. So we need to create it on the stack, which is a read and write part of memory. Whenever you create a string like this, it's actually a lot slower, because what it does is it first puts this string in the read-only data segment, then it'll locate some memory on the stack and copies it over. So really, you should only use this notation for creating a string when you plan on editing it. So we're going to go ahead and run through this example in Paint as well, just to make sure that you really understand the concept of copying data. Alright, so this is basically what it looks like right here. First, we just have myString, which is again created on the stack, and then we have this string called name, which is in the read-only data segment. So right after we create those 2 strings, we come down here and just copy the first 4 characters of this string over to the beginning of this string. So we just copy over the R, let me get the eraser here, so it just overwrites the A with an R, it overwrites the D with an I, so this I comes over here, then we copy over the C and replace the A with that, and finally we overwrite the M with a K. So obviously when we go ahead and access myString, we get out onto the screen Rick likes dogs. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, so see you guys.